Okay, so what we want to do is we want to take a peek at our first assignment, which has to do with Chapter 11 AutoCAD drawings. So it's from the AutoCAD textbook. It's the Chapter 11 stuff, the section view drawings that we've been looking at. Not as many this time. If we click on here, there's a total of 3. So one is going to be the bearing design tutorial. So the one that we just did together is part of your assignment. So you should be all set with that. And then the other 2 of the exercises at the end of the chapter, we're going to do the center support and the lock cap. Okay. Down below again, I have some drawing guides for you so that if you wanted to take a peek or know what the expectations were, and that's where we're going to head next. So let's look first at the center support. It's found on page 1125 in your book. This is going to be very similar to the one that we just did. Okay. So not terribly much different, kind of a pretty simple, straightforward one, but I think it's great practice, just kind of going through the motions. Okay. So, so this one is, and then you can see here, you know, what your end result needs to be. Okay. You'll notice that I do have a center line circle here. This is what we would call a bolt circle. And I have the center line as the circle going through the center of all of those. We don't have the horizontal line then on each one of these. They just are on what we call the bolt circle. And that's all that you need there. So, I think the only 2 that I used that center line function for were these 2 end ones in the side view or in that section view. Otherwise, I did manual center lines for everything. Okay. So don't feel like you have to use those. I think they're nice sometimes, but sometimes it's just, especially when you have overlaps, like with the cutting plane line, then it just doesn't make sense to do them. Okay. So, so I'm going to go back. That's our first one. The second one that we have is the lock cap. Okay. The lock cap. Now, let me do a little explaining. I am going to have you, come on. Let me go back, try it again. I am going to have you put a couple sections in this one. Let's look at this one first, and then we'll, I'm going to have to pull it up manually. That's okay. Let's look underneath our camera first. So the lock cap is on page 1127, and it's this piece right here. So from the top section here, you can kind of see what's going on. But then as you look, this is a view from the bottom. It's actually hollowed out on the bottom as well. Okay, so we need to make a section view or a section of this. I'm actually having you do 3 sections, one going all the way down the center, and then one going through this section and one going through here to give clarity. So, so if we go back, maybe it'll be up by now. Oh, it is good. So this, I'm going to zoom out a little bit. This is the view that I want you to do. So this is going to be what would be your front view, if you would. And then this section lines going right here are going to be the view down below. Notice that the arrows are pointing up and the view is down below along the entire length. And then over on the right-hand side, we have a section going through here, and that's going to be this one over here, the further one away. And then this one pointing in that direction as well, cutting, and we're looking along it is going to be this one. Now, you will notice that I don't have the labels on here. Okay. And that's kind of just where we're at right now. We haven't done dimensioning or notes. Doesn't seem like it's a big deal. You can put just a text box on it. But the problem is there's a lot of settings that deal with getting the text the right size. And I don't want you guys messing with that for right now. When we do our dimensioning, which I'm pretty sure it's in module 5, we'll get all that. So don't worry about the labels. We know because there's multiples on this one, there would be additional labels to identify each one of the views appropriately, so it's not confusing. But for right now, just construct them the way they're supposed to, and then just know that we would do the labeling otherwise. Okay. So these are the last 2 that you would have to do, and I wanted to give you time to work independently on this. Does anybody have any questions on either one of these? Yes.
Cutting or layers?
No, they were dashed. They were hidden on the on the thing, I think, weren't they? You're cutting, the cutting plane lines, aren't they? They're dashed. So if we go to the layers, yeah, it would be a hidden or not a dash line, it would be a hidden line. Yeah, if for some reason you miss it on your template, you just want to update it and then resave your template. Yeah. The other thing they could be is phantom lines. Like I said, those are another acceptable, but yeah, we have the hiddens on our thing. Okay. If there aren't any, are there any more questions before I let you work independently? If not, then you have the rest of the time to use as you would. Okay. If you wanted to get started on this assignment, finishing it up even, and then you'll notice that I'm going to go one more time back to Canvas. In this assignment for chapter 11 drawings, these are the section view drawings. I want the AutoCAD files again. Okay. Now, my suggestion right now is to finish up any of the, what would be module 3, chapter 5 stuff before moving to the section. So if you do need to, finish anything back up there, do that first and then move on to the sections. And then the next time we're together, we'll be looking at auxiliary views. Okay. Just moving right along. Okay. That's all I got.